This episode is brought to you by Sortly. If you're growing your interior design business, then you know tracking inventory across projects, warehouses, and team members can slow you down. That's where Sortly comes in.
Sortly helps you manage furniture, decor, and materials effortlessly from any device, anywhere. Simplify your installs with barcode scanning and real-time updates, making it easy to export details for client proposals.
Sortly is the mobile inventory solution that your team will actually use, so you can stop losing time and money on messy spreadsheets and outdated systems.
Hot Young Designers Club listeners get 50% off their first year, plus a free 14-day trial. Sign up today at sortly.com/HYDC.
That's sortly.com/HYDC. Hey, y'all.
Hey, Shaun. I feel like I haven't talked to you in a while.
I mean, you've been globetrotting. Well, country trotting. What do you call it when you stay within the borders?
Yeah.
Jet setting.
Domestic.
Yeah.
I was in New York with my family for spring break and kind of coming in hot here, but it was good.
And right after your install week in Texas.
That's true.
Which was a lot.
Yeah. The bod is tired, but she's got to keep it moving. So you know what I love about New York, though, especially like going this time of year, and I said it a little bit on my Instagram, but it was just like such a spring celebration. Like we have more seasons, a little bit more than you do, and I'm in Northern California, but we definitely don't have the like coming out of the darkness like I know East Coasters do. And I don't know, it was just like natural blossoming of trees and things, but you can just also see the effort. Someone planted millions of bulbs, like the tulips,
there's little surprise
the daffodils
moments as you walk through the city of just like, oh, somebody cares about this is their neighborhood. They care about being here
for sure, and they're just like so happy it's spring, which was fun and infectious.
Oh yeah, I mean, it was 77 yesterday, and I got in my pool. Like, let's just do it. It's going to be hot today. Turn up the heater.
65 in winter. Like we just don't have that like, major
it's not that level of no. It's
like
not
I
that
felt
level.
the switch flip midweek. Like it was crazy. So anyway.
Yeah. Spring is here.
Yeah, which is also like our birthday month, April.
It is. April Fool's. No, I'm just kidding. It wasn't a joke. We've been here for 5 years.
Yeah, it's a joke that hasn't ended. 5 years. Like it's
kind of a big deal.
I know. Like half a decade.
You're one of my like my long-term relationships. Like
seriously, I'm your current
design
longest
wife.
Marriage. No, not really. Not really. But yeah, like I think it's just been a blip, but then you see all those memes of like 5 years ago and just the pandemic of it all. I always feel bad for people that are like, I just started listening from the beginning. I'm like, oh my God,
those were
tell
dark
me.
days. Yeah, like grab a candle. You need something to guide you back. Like those were dark days for us, and we were really finding ourselves, finding our voices, like learning where we fit in to the community. But it's been an amazing 5 years.
I mean, I'm glad we have it as a time capsule. I don't know when I'll be ready to like really go back to listen, but it is like a unique time capsule that we created without realizing it,
Yeah. No, I'm really proud of what we've done in the community that we've built, and hotties, those of you that have like been looking for like support and guidance and just a nice place to be among friends. Like that's been something that I think is the most rewarding, is to find that other designers want that environment too, and they were like waiting for some place to do it.
Yeah, this is a place for friends where we don't have all the answers and we're not trying to. We're figuring it out still, but it's a place to just feel safe and share and try to learn.
Yeah. So thank you for all of you for supporting us for the first 5 years of Hot Young Designers Club.
And thank you for supporting our sale. We did have a nice little birthday sale in our shop.
Yes, and if you missed it, this last one was like a 25% off sale, all of our tools and templates. And if you want to catch notice of the next sale, head on over to hotyoungdesignersclub.com and sign up for our newsletter. And then you'll be the first to know the next time we have one.
Yes, and if you really want to wish us a happy birthday, you can do it by giving us a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify is the most helpful.
Wherever you listen.
Thank you for the hotties. Yes, it's a free way to give us a little pat on the backs.
Exactly.
So we appreciate that and love hearing from you guys.
Absolutely. So thank you all. And this episode coming up, I think you're really going to like. Rasheeda Gray's personality is just like infectious, and she's got this like energy about her. Like she knows where she's going, she knows where she's headed, but she didn't always.
Yeah, she's just really generous, and I think, yes, a positive spirit and a hustler. Like she's worked her ass off.
Oh yeah. And then her husband now is basically only working with her on the construction side.
Yeah, that's so nice to just have that trusted relationship.
It could be, right?
It could be terrible, but I don't think it is for them.
But yeah, listen for more about that. She shares more about that working dynamic they have together.
And just like how she started from, like, I know there's some of you out there that are working that 2-job life of the night shift, the 5 to 9, whatever they call it.
And then having to like log in after the kids go to bed and start doing your work and replying to clients. Or
I remember going to lunch breaks, like when I was a different career industry, but yeah, like I'd run to Starbucks parking lot so I could send emails.
Oh my God, dash around town. But yeah, she talked with us a little bit about what that was like and kind of when she knew it was time to make what was the side hustle the main hustle and leave her like C-suite career in marketing to do that. So I think it's fascinating, since this is also not our first career, to hear someone else's perspective.
Yeah, we all have a journey, so enjoy.
Yeah. You got it, y'all.
Welcome to the Hot Young Designers Club podcast.
I'm Rebecca Plum, your big sister.
And I'm Shaun Surha, your GBF.
We're not that hot or that young,
but we believe it's a state of mind that helps us build adaptable and profitable businesses.
We rely on the support of our design besties to get through each day.
So let's explore the emotional, practical, and humorous sides of being interior designers.
Welcome to the club. Hey, Shaun.
What's up, Rebecca?
Today we have a fun guest. We have Rasheeda Gray from Gray Space Interiors. Hi, Rasheeda.
Hi, how are you?
So good. So excited to have you.
I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
We've been wanting to talk to you for a long time, so glad we made it happen.
Same.
We have all the questions, but usually we like to start with, just tell us a little bit about you, how you got into interior design, and a little bit about your story.
Yeah. Well, again, I'm so excited to be here. I have been a designer for 9 years now. So we started our company, Gray Space Interiors, like the color gray, AY. We started it in 2016. And design is a second career for me. I spent 15 years in marketing, specifically marketing for insurance and financial services, which is so exciting. So, but it was a very stable career. And, I did the typical climb the corporate ladder. And along the way, I just started to think about, maybe I was having an early midlife crisis. I don't know, but I started to think about connecting purpose with work. And I did some self-exploration, and that's how I found design. So fast forward to, I think I love design. It's always been a part of my life. I would do it for free sort of deal if I, not like as a business, but like I would decorate my apartment, my house over and over again. But what really was the aha moment is my husband and I were selling a home, and we were purchasing a new home. And at the time we said we want a fixer-upper. So that's how much we were into DIY, and like we loved it. And we had a realtor tell us that you had to stage your house to sell it. That's what she said. You need to stage it. We could not afford a stager to come in, so we did it ourselves. And so I Googled what does staging mean, did whatever Google told me. And the realtor came back and said, "Oh my gosh, what did you do? This looks amazing." Fast forward, the house sold in 1 hour. The first person that brought it. And so that's when the light bulb went off for me. And I took a few classes, gained a certificate in design. And while I was doing that at Temple University, I got my first client, and the rest is history.
Wow.
Well, we met recently at the Design Influencers Conference in Napa, and you did a little roundtable, which was really helpful. And you were talking about TV appearances and how that's impacted your career. Mm-hmm. And we can talk more about that. But one of the things that you said you were doing while you were still working was going on Facebook, right?
Well, what were you doing? I did both the design business as well as continue my career in corporate America as an assistant vice president of marketing. Oh, wow. So, I did both careers. Believe it or not, I am one of the least riskiest entrepreneurs you may meet. And so with a mortgage and 2 kids and all of the things that adults have, I thought, well, let's see if this is going to work before I make the big jump. So I spent 3.5 years doing both, building the business and working a corporate job, and realized I was becoming a terrible employee. And so, and then there were opportunities like television that sort of came up that I had to make a decision whether I would really pursue design as a full-time entrepreneur or stick with balancing the two and pursuing it as a hobby. So, of course, I chose the former.
Good choice.
Yeah.
So 3.5 years of doing both. Yeah. Would you say you were doing design? Like, how many clients were you tackling?
I was, like
full time?
One of my biggest accomplishments in that first 3.5 years was being a guest on another podcast where I talked about how I was managing 20 projects at one time while having a full-time job. Yeah. So it was a little bananas. Now, of course, we were building the firm. So our 20 projects range from e-design for 2 rooms to full renovation. So it was sort of running the gamut. And we still operate in that same way, just larger budget sizes today. So with that in mind, I was like 9 to 5 or 5 to 8 with the children, and then 9 to 1 a.m. with the business. And of course, at that point, I built a career where I can negotiate working from home. That was less common at that time. Yeah, than it is now. So it was definitely a negotiation, but that helped. And nights and weekends, and just did what I needed to do to build the business and make sure it was a proven concept and that I was able to replace my corporate salary.
Do you have any advice? I know we do have some listeners that write us sometimes that they are in that place where they're like thinking about taking the leap, and they listened for ideas on how to start building their business. Do you have any advice for people in that position right now?
Oh, absolutely. So much advice. No, I don't think you should do it for 3.5 years. I think I might have overdone it.
It's a long time.
That's a lot.
But I would say be very selective with the projects that you take on early on. I was so anxious to build our resume and our portfolio as a design firm that I sort of said yes to almost everything. And I think it really gave us much more headache and much more challenges that I'm sure we learned so much from, but then necessary. And I wish that I was very intentional about what I said yes to. It wasn't, because I had my corporate salary, I didn't need the income. And so I would have been more selective with what we said yes to.
And I don't know if you've mentioned this yet, but you are in business with your husband, correct?
Yes, we are. That is our company's 9 years old, design firm. About 5 years ago, we started to partner with my husband. He also has a second career. So he is now second career contractor. He owns a construction agency or firm. And he has multiple teams of guys, and it's going really well. It sort of started out of frustration for me. Renovation is a big deal here in northeast part of the country. There's a lot of older homes, especially in Philadelphia. And so that was a huge part of our design business. And I could not find the right construction partner to build the business with. Lots of frustrations, going home at night, complaining to my husband and saying, listen, I'm not doing renovations. I know it's a big part of our business, but I'm done. And all the while, maybe it was sparked from us selling our home, but he and I were once a year flipping our own real estate properties. And so he's like, I have the relationships with subcontractors and I know how to manage a project. And so he had some time on his hands during the pandemic and decided to get his GC license. And amazing. I went full throttle after that. I was like, wait a second, you know what you're doing? I trust you. And I can fuss at you if I need to because we're right there.
Yes.
In the same house.
You have to listen to me.
Yes. Yes. You live. I think this will be a match made in heaven. So yeah, right now I would say maybe 75% of our projects right now involve some sort of renovation, and he is the lead contractor on those projects.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Amazing. So he wasn't doing it with you in the very beginning.
No. He was always kind of like, thank goodness for amazing partners. He was always like another set of hands. Like if I had a handyman that didn't show up for an install, he would, get up on the ladder and hang some curtains for me in the beginning. But yeah, he did not start right away with me, sort of became a value add. It's been a competitive advantage for our company for sure.
For sure.
So then this is like a business, like just the curiosity of how it's structured.
Yeah.
His company or the contracting side operates fully separate from Gray Space, or is it under the Gray Space?
Fully separate. As of right now.
Yeah.
We haven't fully decided where we want to go with it. We just know it would take a little bit of overhauling, and we don't want to do that right now. But yeah, we're two separate companies, separate contracts. We have some communication processes that make it a bit of a seamless process for the client as much as possible. And then of course we're working together hand in hand on projects. But yeah, paperwork is all separate right now.
Yeah. Will he work for clients that aren't related to you?
No, not anymore. He didn't.
No time for that.
We have spoiled him because he's like, wait a second, you don't know what tile and paint color you want?
Yep.
Said client that's not with Gray Space? Oh no, I don't have time for
Yeah. The project management just gets even wilder. And then he's like, I'm not here to be a designer, probably.
Yeah.
Or it just slows everything down.
It does. It got a little, and he's been, knock on wood, that is the busiest part of our business right now. So he's been pretty busy.
And you said that's his second career. So is he only doing that now too?
No, he runs.
Oh my God.
He runs an insurance agency. So he owns a franchise of an insurance agency.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically I'm hearing the hustle that a lot of entrepreneurs are in, which is like, we have a lot of ideas and we want to do all the things. And it's just like, kind of that like go get 'em attitude that we all seem to have.
I mean, we both are. Yeah, I think he's been an entrepreneur for 15 years now, and so we both just sort of embody that entrepreneurial spirit. I'm less of a risk taker than he is, but yeah, it's like, I mean, the insurance agency is great. He loves it for so many reasons, but it's kind of a well-oiled machine now. So he's like, I love construction. I'm working with you. Let's make it happen.
A big part of what we focus on with like the show and talking to designers and the way Rebecca and I even met was just like building community with other designers.
Yeah.
Looking back on when you started like getting into design or starting in design, is there anybody that really jumped out at you that help support you or made an impact on you from the design community you were coming into? I
tell you, I don't think I would be where I am today if it weren't for the support of the design community. So we're talking about, no one makes it by themselves. Let's just say that, right? But I mean, everything from something that's indirect as podcasts that I sort of like listened to religiously and like wrote down everything and took notes and said, okay, this week I'm going to try what I learned on the podcast, to something as very direct as a mentor. So call it my corporate training, I don't know, but this is something that I will carry with me no matter what career I have. I've always had a mentor. no matter what stage of the career that I'm at. And so when I decided to transition into this new career of design, I said, I need to find a mentor. And so I sought after someone who was just went through the same thing I went through, was going through, which is transitioning from a totally different career into design. So Cheryl Luckett is who was a mentor of mine early on. And today we're great, great friends. And she's been a gem to me in my career. I mean, I'm talking like we go to High Point Market. I'm going for my first time. And she's like, you're going to room with me. I'm going to introduce you to everyone. Like, this is who you need to know. This is what you need to know. So yeah, she is a mentor of mine. I reached out to her in a DM, and it was the most professional DM I could possibly send. I didn't have ChatGPT to help me, so it took me a little while to write it.
Yes.
But it was so much so that she said that she wanted to say yes right away. She had been asked, because she's amazing, she's been asked by other designers, but she said the parameters I set up with our mentor-mentee relationship, where I said, hey, if it's okay with you, let's meet once a month on my lunch breaks. I had to sneak into a conference room at my corporate job. And these are the questions I'm going to ask you. I'll send them in advance. And it's just a half an hour once a month. It was that regimented about it. And so, yeah.
Was that in your first email? That was in your first DM, like you outlined?
Yes.
You made a whole pitch. That's the marketing background right there. You were like, this is my pitch. I know I'm asking for something big, but I'm going to show you that I really care about like your time and your energy, and like, help me, please.
Yes.
Like, it's really humble, but also really considerate at the same time to do something like that.
I mean, and on the other side, I know what it's like to be asked to be a mentor in my prior career. So I was just like, I respect this woman through and through, and I need to come correct. So it was great. Yeah. So that's been in place, or that was in place. We're friends now. But right now, I've gone through programs like Goldman Sachs for business. I have a master's degree in business, but you always can learn more, especially as an entrepreneur. And so I did a Goldman Sachs 10K small businesses. I am doing another small business advisory board program right now. So it's just that continuous learning that really has been influential in my career.
I feel like so many designers, especially, we all sort of have this, like what you're saying is that I'm picking up on like the lifelong learning of whether it's caring about our business or learning about design or expanding our knowledge. Like there's just this like hunger for information and knowledge and like connectedness. It's just a really common thing that comes
I think
up.
it's also what you're saying, which is really something people need to remember, is you do have to humble yourself sometimes and be vulnerable and say, I don't know, I'm not that great in this area, which I do also know is hard for some designers, especially if we're being told fake it till you make it, because that is also a thing.
Yep.
But like, we don't all know all the things. Like, it's impossible. So sometimes you do have to just say, okay, I'm not great at this, but also don't just like having that regimented ask. I think with your mentorship, that was so valuable, because sometimes people just ask for help and you're like, I can't just grow time here. Like,
I can't find the time, but if you tell me a half an hour a month, well, maybe I can find the time.
And I know you're gonna come like, yes, with your list of questions, and I can already tell like you're gonna like boom, 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 respect my time. Like, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's a game changer. And then now it's just like, I got my group of design girlies like, hey girl, did you have this situation happen? And what did you do about it? Kind of thing. So
I have a couple groups like that. And yeah, there's just stuff that comes up every single day.
Yeah.
Every day.
And I want someone else to vent to that is not like in my immediate friends or family circle, just because it's like, look, you guys probably don't give two shits about this. Yes. So like, let me go find someone who will at least empathize and go, oh, hell no. Like, I want the friends who will do that and be like, okay, I hear you, but also let me bring you back down, or like, maybe I need to convince you to get out of that situation a little bit differently. And I always appreciate having someone to like check me. And I feel like the design friends will do that fast for you, but maybe your friends or your family, they're there to support you a lot more and they forget about your business side sometimes. Yeah, or they're just like, I really don't know what to say to you. I'm so sorry. Like,
you got yourself into that.
What would you say are some of the more challenging things that you're asking your design besties for their advice on?
Pricing.
Oh God. Yes.
Like I just can't get it right. It's like, no, I mean, for the most part, I'm getting better, but honestly, it's something I'm always like, did I charge enough? Did I charge too much? And like, did I forget something? So yeah, and pricing. And honestly, we changed our pricing structure maybe a year ago for the better. One of my design friends is coming over today and I got this from her. So shout out to Kelly Collier Clark of House of Clark Interiors. So anyways, yeah, what I am doing now that's slightly different is I've always been a fan of flat fee design fees. Because I like to tell clients, let's get the money out the way in the beginning so we can have fun for the rest of the process. But I quickly found out, maybe around the pandemic timeframe, 2021-ish, that I was losing out on money because of that. And so I'm sure this all happened to many of us during the pandemic. We quoted a project maybe in 2020, had no clue how the pandemic would affect anything from furniture delays to delays and price increases, all, you name it. And so I would be done being paid for a project, but I would still be working on it. Even if it was passively, like an hour a week or whatever, it just was, I was not being paid for it. So right now what we're doing is flat fee for the design portion of the project. And then once construction begins, start project management on an hourly basis. So anything after construction, we bill on an hourly basis once a month.
That's how I do it too. I like it better too. I like the flat fee. Like clients know what to expect. You can get that all out of the way up front, and then it just helps me feel like I can be as creative as I need to be and not stressing about how long I'm taking to do it. That part's probably not great, but
as efficient as you want.
Yeah, like that too.
Let me outsource and streamline this part that I hate or don't want to do, and make like that can be as fast as it needs to be, but at least we have some buffer hopefully built into that number.
Yes.
To like eat the new assistant who's not as fast, or the renderer who took a little bit more than we thought it would, or whatever it is.
Yep. And one thing that we've started to do the last maybe 6 months to improve that is track our time. I know. I was like, I don't have time to track my time. What? You don't have time to not track your time. Like,
okay.
I have realized that tracking your time is critical, because then I will know for certain if I'm charging correctly or not, because I have the data when I'm quoting future projects. So yeah, outside of the hourly portion of our billing, we track time for everything in the project. So we know if we need to raise prices or not and what that should look like.
If you quoted it right. When you're tracking your time for that, how detailed are you getting? Like, do you have different categories? So when you're bidding next time?
Yeah, we do. We track it in design files. So nothing super fancy, I don't think. But we do it for each of the 5 phases of our process. So we like design, procurement, project management, installation, and then pre-project. So I know how long it takes me to get the project up and going, like onboarding and stuff. So yeah, that is how we track it.
And then is the pre-project stuff, is that part of your flat rate design, or?
I gotta get my technical term right, because what's pre-project? I know it's consultation is charged separately. So I guess I would say we have 5 phases, but we're charging for 4. I'm always so used I'm so used to saying 5 phases. We're charging.
But it's a startup from the first time they call you all the way to like when you're actually going to start design. That's like the pre-project. Yes. They're not really yours yet until that point.
That's right. Yeah. So the consult fee covers whatever we do at that point. And then the other 4 phases are what we're tracking on an hourly basis.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. I feel like I'm tracking similar to that.
And I do give the client idea of what their hourly costs would be. Like, I still try to give somewhat of a flat fee. Like, even though we're charging you hourly, it should not go more than this many hours for that portion of the project, so they have an idea of what to expect. Because again, I don't like money surprises for myself or for the client or for myself. So
yeah. How has that changed response from the clients that you said you're moving that over to? Like, can you see the difference between previous proposals?
I thought they would question it. I was like, okay, going hourly is going to open up questions. They're not. Because what we track it, we say, okay, I spent 20 minutes on the phone with the contractor talking about doors. I spent 30 minutes updating the PO, like whatever it is, we write it down. So like we are diligent about tracking what it is. So when I invoice them for it, I just copy that same info. So we haven't gotten questioned much at all about it, which is what I was worried about. And for me, it's helped cash flow tremendously. It really helped to give sort of more of a monthly as opposed to these big chunks of payments that clients would make before. So
yeah,
it's nice to have both. It's nice to have both.
Yes.
Give me a big chunk and then give me some drips to keep me
There's
going.
some trickle in stuff, but it also then like, because you have, and we didn't ask this, how many people are on your team right now?
Oh yeah, so we actually just downsized one person. So there's a total of 3 of us now that I pay through payroll. But I mean, I have a bookkeeper in addition to that, and a few other partners. But yeah, there's 3.
And then it must help then if you're just like, hey guys, that other part of the design fee we need to collect. So let's get this done. Like, can we get over the finish line, please?
Yes, always. I'm always like, how fast can we do the design? Which is a fine balance, right? Because it's a creative process. So I don't want it to become a machine, but I also know, like, we have a KPI, a key performance indicator that says we want to be done projects in 180 days or less. Now, there are some projects that take so much longer than that, and there are some projects that take so much less than that. So it totally depends on the project, but that's the average target that we're going for.
For the whole project, including renovation?
Yep.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Some projects fall within that. I mean, if it's a kitchen,
it's an average.
If it's a kitchen, yeah, it could fall within that. If it's a bedroom and bathroom, sure. But if it's like a whole house reno, we know that that's going to be so much longer.
It's out of your hands.
Yeah.
What are their roles?
Oh, so myself as lead designer, and then all the other things entrepreneurs do. And then my admin person, her title is operations specialist. So she does procurement. She does project management. What else does Megan do? She actually does some marketing projects too. So she'll make some of our marketing materials and sends out email blasts. She does all the behind the scenes work. She does everything, basically.
Amazing.
Like everybody, it sounds like everybody has their hands in when it comes to your projects. Like everyone's going to help. We're going to jump in with each other.
We tell our clients that you have a lead designer. It's either myself or my junior designer. And then you'll have Megan. And Megan is the operations person. And she normally takes over phases 3 and 5. So she's sort of like the tail end of the project and we're in the beginning. Yep.
Just out of curiosity, the operations specialist, did she have a prior experience in interior design industry, or was she trained by you?
Knock on wood, I've been lucky with people, meaning Megan and I worked together for 5 years prior to her starting with us. So she was sort of the design lead for our receiver.
Okay.
Worked in our receiver warehouse for 5 years. So she only worked with designers. So she knows the design world and she knows logistics and so.
Oh my God. Yeah. Like literally a dream to have someone who understands how interconnected all of the things and the execution need to be. And so once they understand that really big picture, it's so much easier to understand all the little steps you do in your business every day. Oh man, you're like a bunch of designers are going to be really jelly.
I know. I get really, really lucky.
Like wishing they could steal someone like that from their receiver, probably.
Yeah, she was like, "I'm looking to grow," and I was like, "I'm looking to hire. Let's talk."
Come over here.
Because I do think that if somebody is very good at logistics and administration in general, I think they could learn this industry.
Yeah.
But it is but that is like a nice head start for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, designers, are you feeling isolated?
Maybe looking for some more community?
That's why we created our Loyal Hottie membership.
So for just $10 a month, you get the following.
We give you all the real conversations with other designers. Every month, we host a Hottie Hangout live on Zoom.
Once a month, me and Shaun do an exclusive episode. This is the less filtered hot tea version of the podcast with video.
Yeah, because you need more of that.
You do.
And we have a private Facebook group that's just for the loyal hotties. It's a safe place where they all connect and share information and resources with each other.
You can find it at www.patreon.com/HYDC to sign up.
We talked about like your challenging parts of your business. Are there things that you're just like, oh, I got this? Like that's the easy part.
Marketing.
Yes.
Which is how
insurance.
I am fully covered.
Fully. I'm actually thinking about adding more with cyber liability because of all these like hackers and stuff. But anyways,
yes.
Marketing for sure. And you sort of look at coming into this industry as a second career as like a handicap in the beginning. At least that's what I thought. It was, full on imposter syndrome. But what I quickly learned is from a podcast and another sort of mentor in my head is that you got to lean into your transferable skills. You have to lean into like your strengths. And I also quickly learned that 75% of my time is running this business. 25%, maybe less, is designing. So my marketing background just equipped me in ways I could not have imagined. And so it has helped me to grow with little to no help from outside agencies. In terms of gaining clients and then also gaining national brand exposure.
I feel like you've been really creative in how you approach that, and I'm sure it's because of your original career. When I was listening to you at your roundtable in Napa, you were talking about how you work with local television that was like one of your earlier TV gigs, right?
Yeah.
How does that work for you?
So TV sort of fell into my lap a little bit. So I got a DM. Here we go with these DMs again, right? I got a DM from a casting director for the show Flea Market Flip. And that was in early 2017, like very early in my career. I was still working my corporate job. Part of the reason why I say, okay, I guess you can't be on national TV if you're taking PTO days to do it. You got to decide.
Right.
So fast forward, I thought it was a scam, but it wasn't. So I did apply to Flea Market Flip. TV was not on my radar. I was just trying to build a business, raise some kids, maybe cook a meal or two once or twice a week. Like I was trying to figure it out. And so, I finally said yes. And my husband and I, because we were DIYing at that point, we were on Flea Market Flip. And it was like the light bulb went off there, like, oh, I think I really enjoy television. It's a great way to educate people. It's a great way to sort of get exposure for the business, et cetera. So Flea Market Flip happened first. And then from that, I was like, well, I spent time doing this. They pay me very little. So let's make the most of this. And now I like TV. Let's try to pitch myself to a local network. So that's what I did. I used the Flea Market Flip to pitch myself to local television. It took a lot of creativity in that pitching strategy to get someone to finally respond. And that's where I see the most benefit. The national television is great. It's a dream come true. The national television is great. It's a dream come true. But where I see most growth for our firm is the local television.
And you're still doing that?
Yes, I do. Probably twice or three times a year. And now I am connected with the news anchor. So I text her and say, hey, Jen, I think I want to do a segment on this. And then we kind of coordinate.
So how does that work? What are you showing them and what are you doing?
I was intentional about that. I sort of got by default paired with an anchor that's not in studio. So she is like out in the field reporting on things happening in the community. And that's been a blessing because what I do is news segments are segments from our clients' homes. So I am not in the studio. I'm actually, which is a whole project in itself to,
my God,
make sure that the house looks the way that you left it when you finished the design. And then also just interrupting someone's morning with their children and all the things. So I'm so grateful for our clients to let me do that. But yeah, we film probably 2 5-minute segments a couple times a year. So 6 segments, I guess that would be. And we are showcasing design tips within our client projects. So for example, we just renovated a basic build a great home and did all these beautiful custom features. And so the tip was how to hang wallpaper. I don't hang wallpaper anymore. But for television, I did, because I really want the viewer to see the client's home that we just completed and how beautiful it is. And then, of course, I spent 1 minute with a piece of drywall on a client's dining room table showing them how to hang wallpaper. So yeah, you have to figure out what's the best angle for the television station, because they want easy, DIY friendly.
They want a tip, right?
Yeah. And so that doesn't typically align with what we do as designers for luxury projects, but I find a way to make it work.
For sure. I could see a designer taking that same idea of let's do a short thing, but doing it on their reels even. Sure, you're not on TV, but you could still host it like a segment.
Yep.
That.
For sure. Absolutely.
Because that's what you were doing, right? That's I think what you were saying. You were doing that when you were at work on your breaks. You were doing little videos.
Yeah, I was walking around with my cell phone hey guys, welcome to Design to Tuesdays. So I did that a lot because I caught the TV bug, and video was becoming increasingly popular. So I was like, I got to do video. I want to grow my social. So yeah.
I think that's fantastic to imagine. Okay, you can adapt it, but it also shows someone that you're ready for that, for a designer who's thinking okay, this might be where I need to get more comfortable with it, is you can sort of beta test yourself a little bit, do your little audition role.
Yes, that's part of the pitch too. I mean, you have to have proof that you're ready for television, or that you can do it. And if you haven't been on television, the only way to do it, because we've been blessed, I think, with the internet, that we can do YouTube ourselves, or we can do social media ourselves. So
how do you feel that's impacted you getting projects by having more of a presence like that?
I think it's twofold. It's really been a mainstay on how I've grown my design business. Again, I didn't think it initially, but even after Flea Market Flip, people would say, oh, she was on HGTV. And I was like, I almost shot it down and said no, because 1, I thought it wasn't real. And then 2, I was like, I don't flip furniture, so why would I do a show that, but it worked. And then secondly, so it has provided notoriety. Even today, with all the things that our firm has done, people introduce me to their friends and family, my network, and they'll say, she's been on Good Day Philadelphia. She's been on Fox 29. I'm like, yes, because that's what people sort of remember. So that part. But secondly, for local television, immediately after we get off of the segment and the camera shuts down, I have a couple hundred new followers, and I have 1 or 2 increase in our inbox or on our website. So it's a direct correlation to new projects for people that may not have known us otherwise, because it just expands our reach.
And it's really smart that you're doing that in these project homes, so people know what level of projects you're taking on, versus if you were in studio talking about tips or whatever, you probably get a lot of really unqualified leads.
Yes.
Can you afford this level?
Yeah.
This is custom.
That's very true. That's a really good point. And in the beginning, we did get a lot of leads that really weren't right for us. And so now on our website, I just have what's your starting budget? And it's at a level that we want to take on. So yeah, we still have to filter through, because it's,
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining that there's this other level, what we're saying is also that yes, people are seeing you in a space, which is helpful. Additionally, the way we photograph our stuff is very different than the way it looks in real life.
Yeah.
And local television isn't going to film it the same way that, say, House Beautiful is going to film it.
Yep.
And not in a bad way. It's just it's going to look more like a real space. because it's live camera footage and they're not going to over edit it because it's happening live on a segment.
Yeah.
So you get to see a real house and you go, this is what it looks like when I'm in it. Yeah. So people can imagine that direct correlation of like, well, I want mine like that too. And I live in a regular house. It's not a fake AD home. Well, fake to them. Like half the houses they see, you know, in a lot of publications, their home's not going to feel or look exactly like that. It's not going to be professionally shot and with a videographer
in
that
their
costs
neighborhood.
$20,000. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm very intentional about where we film at because I want more clients in certain neighborhoods. So I'm picking those projects. But yeah, you're right about it being live. I had an appliance garage fall off the hinge on live television.
No.
Just get my amazing craftsmanship.
Yeah.
And then it just fell apart.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God.
Okay, thank goodness. The host was great. And I was like, I brushed past it and made light of it.
Oh, no.
Stuff happens on live television.
Oh, my God. Yeah. No kidding. You're like, well, there's always a touch-up phase for every project. And then we just got to keep going.
And I was like, I have to call my husband and get in here and get this fixed. So, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my God. That's so funny. And I'm sure the producers love hearing from you. From my experience, they're constantly looking for stuff to shoot.
It's just rough. I don't want to glamorize TV because, you know, everyone thinks it's so glamorized. No one's doing my hair and makeup. At this point, the very first time I went on local television, I had a makeup artist and everything. And the anchor was looking at me. I was like, I think she thinks this is overkill. So now I just do my own stuff or whatever. But also, television is pretty much last minute. I don't know a better way to say this.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like,
yes.
Okay, I know you want to do a segment. So sometimes I reach out, sometimes they do. And so I know you want to do a segment. We'll keep you on the radar. And then like, oh, someone canceled tomorrow. Can you do tomorrow? And I'm like, what? I have to coordinate with the client. And you need to be there at 7:00 in the morning and they're getting their kids off to school. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Do you typically give the client a heads up like, hey, I would love to do a feature in your home. Yeah. So just this is how it might roll out.
Yeah, I say that. Like I know pretty much before we start the project, like this is a project that I'm going to pitch to a magazine and that I'm going to have on local television. So yeah, I do give them a heads up along the way of the process. Like, oh my gosh, so gorgeous. I can't wait. And some clients are excited to have their home on television. They're like, their friends, you know? So
I did a segment once for my little showroom that I co-own with another designer. And it's scary because you're just like, they're like, okay, it's happening. And you don't know when they're going to say, we're live.
It's crazy.
Like,
I mean, I was like,
so scary.
Go.
And one time I was like, oh crap, I forgot to take the lid off of the wallpaper paste. This was the wallpaper one. And she was like, okay, you got a minute. Go run and do it. You see me scurrying across the screen. I didn't have a minute. It was starting in 20 seconds. So yeah, you just never know.
So it is scary, but I do think just for listeners, like it's a great avenue and find your local producers. They're constantly looking for stuff. Yeah. So if you have an idea, I'm sure they would love to hear it.
Yeah, I will say when I first started pitching television, I found morning news shows that were similar to the one that I was pitching to. For example, City Line is a Canadian. I think it just went off air, but it was on air for like a decade at least. And they always had great segments. And I believe Kimberly Selden was a designer who was always on City Line. And so I was like, what are they talking about? And so like, that's how I sort of crafted what I would pitch by looking at other television segments that are out there. So yeah, that helped a lot. Yeah, it's a game changer. I mean, it's free, technically, marketing. So, yeah, it's definitely worth the effort and the time.
And I think something that's also part of this is we hear from a lot of designers that are scared to like put themselves out there and to have their face seen. Do you have any words of wisdom for them?
I will say, I don't think television's for everyone. I think there's different, marketing strategies that work best for each of us. I would say, if you're nervous about it, you're just on the fence, then do a lot of practicing on your own social platform just to get comfortable with it. I still get nervous. When I'm doing television, but I get more nervous on social media. I don't know why. Like going live on social media or doing a video for social makes me more nervous because I think I'm like, I can tell there are people watching me, especially live. I'm like, you're watching me right now, like real time.
And things are popping up and you're just like, oh my God,
you
oh my
see
God.
names and you can like,
I know you're there.
Connect.
But when there's a video camera for television, local or national, I know one day somebody's going to see it, but I'm not thinking about that right now. So it's only 2 people in the room, me and the camera. So yeah, I would say if you can practice on social and get comfortable there, you'll be fine on television.
And do it. People, I think part of what you're saying, like part of the benefit of it, you don't have, not everyone needs to go on TV, but getting your personality out there and your image helps clients connect with you and in ways that you don't know that they're looking for. And it's really, I think, really important because we have these relationships with our clients. They need to like us. And hopefully we like them.
Yes, for sure. So many people have said, clients have said, I feel like I know you because by the time they call me, they've been following us on social for a while. So
yeah, they've already like built up this like relationship with you,
which is interesting.
Yeah,
I get that too. Yeah, so my husband gets like recognized sometimes in town, like getting his haircut or whatever. He's like, I didn't sign up for that.
He wants some anonymity too. Yeah,
well, I don't put him on very much anymore, but yes, it's fun.
Yeah, it is something that you realize. Oh, people are paying attention to me, even if it's just like a few hundred people who really are paying attention to me. Those are people that are like rooting me on, or they're dreaming about working with me. And we walk around, we never realize that we are part of their like Pinterest board, or we're part of their manifestation for their home. Like there's something really cool about that.
It's really special. I don't take that for granted because like someone just told me, you're on my vision board. What? I have like, all kinds of big things on my vision board myself personally. So for someone to say you're on my vision board and, we look at social as just numbers sometimes, but those are real people who are really supporting you by following you. So yeah, it's important. It matters. And so, yeah.
Yeah. It's such a weird industry because we do have such an impact on the way that people live once they're in their homes. And like the impact of what we do keeps going for so much longer past just like our initial interactions. It's really weird to think about it because I never would have thought that in like my corporate job because I worked in corporate finance before. And I'm like, I'm not really, like I probably didn't really like help anybody like in the way that they live differently because of how they had an interaction with me, or I was involved in a phase of something with them. Because it's like, well, that was just like a mortgage or a line of credit or like, or just like a random interaction. And then now suddenly we're doing something that has some pretty like long lasting impacts on people's way of life.
Yeah, that's a really big deal. I think that's what made me fall in love with it even that much more, just knowing that.
So are you still interested in pursuing the television side of things? How does that look for your future? If you have anything you could talk about.
Oh yeah, I'm locked in. Sign me up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we've been blessed to be able to do television since Flea Market Flip. Of course, the local that we've talked about, the local news segments. But we've also done a show called Sell This House on A&E. I did 5 episodes of that in 2020. And then I did an episode, my husband and I, with a client of ours, of In With the Old, which is on Magnolia Network. So we've been around the block. And we are working on something special. I've alluded to it a few times over the last few months that will be our biggest television project yet. So that is on the horizon. I can't wait till I can share more.
Exciting. That's so hard when you have these things that you can't share. And it's like filling your entire head and all you can think about.
Album of like 700 pictures and I can't do anything with it.
Oh no.
Yet. But soon. Yeah, soon that will come. And for me, I have decided, as I think about the vision of our company, our design firm, I want to build a brand. And so I want to build a brand that encompasses a sort of design, of course, but also products and television. And so I would love for Gray Space to be a household name. So yeah, that's what I'm working towards.
Is there ever a world where you wouldn't be actively designing for clients, do you think? Do you know that
No,
yet?
I still that's what I fell in love with. So I don't think I want to get rid of that. Like, I want to hold on to it, but I want to ideally be more selective and be able to work on just a few projects a year. Yeah. So I think that's what keeps us connected to all those other things. Like, if I don't have real world clients to know what's trending or what's really happening in the world, I think it makes me not as great of a product designer or a television host. So yeah, I want to continue to work with clients.
I know that's always the tricky part. I mean, for us too, I mean, the podcast is not our full-time job, but even if it was the goal, I do think it would be a lot harder to help designers in their businesses if we weren't experiencing a lot of the same painful parts of it.
Yes.
It's something where I feel like I watch other designers do it, and like the common thread seems to be that at some point there's sort of like a skilled senior designer person who really comes in to kind of be like a creative driving force in getting everything else done. So that way they can either they want to focus on the financial side, or they want to focus on the like wooing client side, or if it's in your case, like helping to build notoriety and credibility for the firm is like a really big part of the day. And that takes a lot of time and energy. So having someone to back you up on the execution side can be really helpful.
Yeah. I would love for our next hire to be like a senior level business manager. Something where I can take my foot off the gas a little bit on the day-to-day of the business. So, yeah.
Okay, we're manifesting it.
There we go.
Like, there's going to be a really big project that comes in and you're like, okay, that's that person's salary now, and they're coming in to do it.
Yeah.
Like
that is cool. Yes.
How much do you think clients are expecting you to be there for every aspect of the job? How do you explain that? Like, how do you do that?
That gets challenging for sure. The way that I built my firm was virtual because I had a full-time job. So the way that we operate is still in some ways because of that. For example, I probably see the client, well, it depends on the project, but no more than like a handful of times. So the consultation, the install, and then if there's project management that happens, myself or junior designers on site, when needed, weekly, biweekly, or whatever that might be. So I don't spend a lot of face-to-face time. Like, even most of our design presentations are virtual. I know I've had a client who just sort of looked weird when I was like, okay, let's schedule our design presentation virtually. And then she was kind of like, oh, we're not going to meet in person. I was like, oh, okay. Yes, we can meet in person if that's what you prefer. Because I would just send the sample box before in advance or drop it off in advance. And then we would
even local.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I think that helps me to manage it a little bit to keep things as virtual as possible. But honestly, I think the larger that our projects are getting, the more hands-on I or someone senior is going to need to be. So that's why that manifested position is important.
Yeah, because you're the one still, they're like hoping you're going to show up, and they probably take your recommendations better. It's hard.
Something as simple as like our discovery call, the first contact they have with us. For a while, I was having my operations person handle it because she was a mainstay in the office. And if it was under a certain threshold, she certainly could do a discovery call in terms of budget. But I recently just took that over because business has been a little wonky the last couple of months. I know a lot of designers have been saying that.
Yeah.
So I was like, I think I have the capacity to take it back. But I think people, when I hear me on that first call, they're like, oh, I didn't expect that I would be talking to you. So I think there's
like some delight that happens for some. Yeah.
Yep. So I think it's definitely important to have touch points on all projects, even if it's even if it's a teeny e-design project. I'm usually a part of the very first meeting, so I can do a warm introduction to their senior or their lead designer, and then I go away.
And you tell them up front, like kind of how it's going to work.
Yeah.
Because there's no way you can do everything and grow, but people, I feel like, want that principal moment. And in my past experience, I remember that happening. I was in advertising and I was actually at a corporate job at this time, and we worked with a big agency in another state, and the principals were there for the sales pitch, but then like handed us off. And I don't feel like everyone was expecting that. And so the rest of the year-long project, like we never saw those people again. And I think it's just like managing that expectation because everyone was great.
Right. But they feel like I'm spending big dollars. I want to see you.
I want you to show up.
Which I definitely understand. So.
Yeah. Do you think it's having an impact on your, like the effectiveness of those discovery calls, having you be there again?
I don't know. I just back up.
The conversion.
Check back in later.
She's tracking those hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have just seen that, like, I do all of my stuff too, but I have had like those moments where a member of my team was like, here's a reselection for something. And it's just like a little bit of extra resistance comes from the client, even though I'm like, I saw this. I said, go ahead and email this, send it to them. It's good. And there's a little bit of that, like, I don't know if Shaun saw that. I'm like, baby, I saw it. Yeah. It's coming from me, but it's like getting that voice right of like up front, who's managing it and where did it come through and who sees it.
Getting their trust.
Yeah, getting their trust and their buy-in to that early, like, would make a difference. Because it's harder later, like when I had that assistant of just like, okay, now he's going to start jumping in and they're like, oh, wait, everything was coming from you. And then you got busy and now he's doing more. Who's really doing it? Yeah. And that was like, oops, I missed the messaging on that. And I didn't clarify everything that was happening there up front. And I got to do that a little bit harder with everyone so they know, even if it is mid-project, like, here's where we're getting extra help. Here's where that's coming in.
That's true. I definitely have gotten resistance, and I do sit on most of the major touch points. So our design presentation, like right now, our junior designer does like smaller projects, but I let her lead that presentation, but I'm there, like I'm on the call, just to support. So, yep.
It does help if your hourly rate is different.
Oh, yeah.
Then you get a little less pushback. Like, okay, she can handle this one.
Yeah.
She can handle delivering the whatever to my house.
Yeah, that's true. Right now ours are not, but knock on wood, no one's questioned the hourly.
For now, yeah.
I mean, if you're looking at everything, then technically it's like it's double. So
yeah, hello.
Yeah.
So you have a little bit of a busy springtime coming up ahead of you, huh?
Oh yeah, I do. It's exciting now. I'm very excited.
Do you want to tell our hotties what's coming up for you now?
Hey, hotties. So, you went to High Point Market. No.
Yeah.
No, that's it. So, I am excited. We've been selected as a style spotter for High Point Market 2025. Definitely a dream come true. I'm very excited about it. And so, as a result, I will be hosting 2 tours for High Point Market. One will be a hotspot tour. I'm focusing on art for the hotspot tour. That's like a half day. I think it's on Sunday. And then I'm doing an insiders tour, which is for new designers or designers who haven't been to market in the last 2 years, if I remember correctly. And there's an application for the insiders tour. It's full day. And we're going to all my favorite showrooms, and that is on Saturday of market. So yeah, be pretty busy at market. And there's
your feet are gonna be tired.
Yes, I'm used to it. I've been coming to market. That was one of the first things my mentor told me to do. So I went the first year I was in business. So yeah, I have been to market for 2017 and whatever this year is, 8 years now. So yeah, used to it.
And the fantastic. Style spotters, that's the whole year, right?
Yes, it's the whole year. So I'll be doing it again in the fall. And I'm also sitting on quite a few panels, which I'll be posting about shortly at High Point Market.
You are going to be busy.
I'm bringing my husband with me this time.
Fun.
I don't think he realizes what he's getting himself into.
He's going to be tired too, but you do need someone to help, like, corral and keep you going. And Rebecca's much better at it than I am for myself, but she'll be like, Shaun, and we're walking, we're going.
Gotta keep it moving.
You have another, and also like, oh, thank you guys so much. Like, we got to get going. And it's not you. So if he's like the handler a little bit for the weekend, it's like, your bodyguard /
the bag man.
like keep you going of just like, don't let me spend more than 20 minutes here. I have to get to the next thing.
Yeah.
You kind of need someone. So you could be the wooer during the process.
Yeah, because you probably just keep getting stopped.
Oh, yeah. I will tell him, you got to add handler to your list of things at High Point.
Yes, exactly. I love that. This is so cool. I'm really glad that you shared that, because I know this is going to be really like an action-packed market for you.
Oh, yeah.
Will you share? Will you share with the hotties where they can find you and keep up with you if they don't make it to market?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can find us online on all platforms at Gray Space Interiors with the S, and it's Gray with the A, Gray, and the word space, spell it out, interiors.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, instead of, physical spaces. Okay. Yes. I'm with you. You.
My last name is Gray, and we design spaces, so that's how I came up with Gray Space.
Done.
Also, my marketing background, I was like, that's easy to remember.
Totally.
And our website as well. Same.
That's awesome. You have been so wonderfully transparent and open with us today. Like, I just want to say, like, special thank you for that.
Yeah, that's the only way I know how to be. So, no problem.
We gotta help each other. Yeah. Thank you so much, and definitely hotties follow Rasheeda, because she's got some big stuff coming. I'm really excited to see it all unfold.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me. This has been amazing.
Thank you. Until next time.
Stay hot, designers.
Thanks for listening to the Hot Young Designers Club podcast.
For more on what we talked about today, check out the show notes.
Your support helps us grow, so share with your design besties.
And subscribe and leave a review on Apple Podcasts.
Our conversations continue on Instagram.
And be sure to download our monthly resources on our website and our Patreon.